Welcome to Queerspace TV, where your inner darkness becomes your outer light.
Queerspace is a party, community, and movement.
We seek to bring vulnerability to the forefront of our discussions about art, culture, and identity, allowing us to be free of self-imposed burdens.
We are a family, and we invite you to join us.
My name is Peter. I'm a performance artist, and some of you may know me as the curator of the monthly performance series called Queerspace, which took place all across Los Angeles in DIY warehouse spaces. And I'm so excited to share with you this new platform of Queerspace TV to help reconnect the Queerspace community after being separated for so long.
And I'm Leilani, your co-host and supreme sets appeal, here to spotlight marginalized creatives from all backgrounds. I'm a musician, producer, performance artist, and model. Basically, I am that bitch.
Thank you for joining us tonight for another episode of
Queerspace
TV.
So yeah, like I totally ran up to her and I saw her face. It felt so good.
Fuck yeah, I would
I
have
think I killed
loved
her.
to see that. Oh, that's great. That's your 5th one this week.
I know. I have a problem.
We're so excited for our next guest. How do we even
Yeah.
announce someone like this?
Well,
It's
we
like-
have a very special, rare guest today.
Some of you may know him as the Thin Black Duke,
And some may know him as Lord of the Thighs.
and others know him as a literal sex god.
But we all know him as
Tolliver!
Oh my God. Sex? I'd like to try it someday. One of these days.
Oh,
You'll get
You
it.
make
I'm gonna give it a
jokes.
go.
Time.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna give
I
it a
think,
go.
You know, 2021, it's really the year of doing new things.
You're
and,
right.
like,
yeah.
June, July is what
going.
I'm sort of planning.
That's when you're gonna do it?
Yeah.
Is that would you be open to doing it before then, or is there something specific about
You know,
those
it depends on the
months?
pitch. You know,
Okay,
depends
yeah.
on the pitch.
Sure.
It is
Are
pitch
you
season.
saving it for that special someone?
There's apps I've heard.
Yeah, it depends on the check.
That special
too.
app?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
How much,
Did the check clear?
you're being offered, yeah. The check needs to clear before it goes down. 'cause
Yes.
Otherwise, you're fucked.
Your rent has to be paid.
Before I go down, the check must clear.
I like that. Before I go down, the check has to clear.
Yeah, it's true.
Well, thank you so much for being here, Tolliver. Tolliver is an amazing musician, an artist, and performance artist, and all around really amazing person. Am I missing anything?
No, journalist.
Journalist? Oh, that's
What
no, yeah,
doesn't she
actually-
do?
Yeah, no, that's true because I do want to get
I'm
into
just-
that at some point because you do interviews as well. So is this like kind of a new thing for you
It's
to be?
lovely. It's so nice, because when I'm interviewing people, I feel like I'm like this is like the 800th one I've done, but every time I'm nervous. Every time. So it's nice to just be like, okay,
Yeah.
get to just
Yeah.
chill. Because I'm like looking at my questions. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Have you ever interviewed someone that you were like a major fan of?
Oh, I interviewed Janelle Monáe.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh.
And
Wow.
I thought it went great. And I was really happy. She was amazing. She took pictures of me afterward, and I couldn't tell why, but I was like,
I'd be
whatever.
completely intimidated.
Yeah.
Like, total
I was so
babe.
nervous, and like when I get nervous, I just get like quiet, and I hate it because I'm not like being myself. I'm like, so what was it like working on that? Because I'm just trying to keep control of myself.
Yeah. Internally, you're like, wah.
She can't know that I'm like.
Yeah.
But it was lovely. Yeah.
What was that interview for?
That was for a movie called Ugly Dolls.
Oh, cool.
So a lot of the ways that I get interviews is like if there's a movie that's about to tank and the studio can tell, that's when they call in everyone. They're like, come on in here and interview whomstever. And so a lot of the movies I end up screening are very bad. But
But
Whatever.
bad good though sometimes.
I really liked the movie Ugly Dolls. It got like tons of terrible reviews, and they were like, this is just a toy commercial. But I got a bunch of swag from it, like toys.
Yeah.
Is that something that you get as an interviewer, just swag, or is that just something that like happens every now and then?
I think most times there's something. I did a movie that was like, it was so fucking bad. It was Mile 22. It was a Mark Wahlberg movie.
Oh,
Is
I've seen
that
it.
an army movie or
Yeah,
what
it
is
was whack.
that?
It was it was like I forget. They're like a special team. They're like I don't know, private security or something. I don't know, whatever, private military. And Ronda Rousey's in it, and someone else, blah blah. But Mark Wahlberg, I don't know what happened, but I ended up going last, and they were like, "You have 1 minute. You usually get 4 minutes." And they're like, "You have one," and I was like,
Wow.
1 minute in paradise with Mark Wahlberg. Just like,
You had 1 minute to interview him?
yeah, and it was terrible. He was just like, "Yes, no, yes," and I was like, "All right,
Yikes.
great, glad I'm here." But I got a backpack from it, and I use that backpack almost every day.
That's
Wow.
amazing.
All the
Great. Well,
time.
thank you, Marky Mark.
Thanks, Mark.
You
that
know,
was
I
nice.
always forget that. Like, I wonder if like that'll be something we have to deal with that one day. If at some point we completely change our careers and we'll have a Marky Mark legacy.
That
or
is the
something.
dream, Daddy Mark.
Yeah.
We'd like that backpack, please.
Yeah. So apart from doing interviews yourself, I think you're most known as a performance artist, as a musician, and a musician. I mean, you probably would agree with that. When did you first start making music?
I started, so like my dad really wanted me to play piano because I was my baby photo. The first one is just me like this. You know, babies are hideous and all that. My hands were like this, and they were like, "He's got to be a piano player."
Like, you can't even move your hands.
Like, yeah, like his hands look like that, so he's got to play piano. So I took lessons, and I was pretty bad. And then they were like, you know, how people can just pick up piano. They're like, he just listened and he figured it out. I don't get how that works. How that process. I guess how would you know? You have nothing to start with. So they just put me in church, and they're like, play along. I'm just hitting random keys, out of tune. And
It's
just let me-
jazz.
they let me do it for months. But that was like my first musical thing. Then I joined the choir. My mom was the lead soprano,
Oh, cool.
and I wanted to be like her. So I kind of started singing in high school. When I first got the chance, they were like, "You got a decent voice." I was in musicals and stuff. And so I guess Baptist church and then musicals, which I think adds up based on how I am.
Yeah, totally. That makes
Yeah,
sense.
you know?
totally.
Yeah. What was like a cool musical you were in?
I was in this. I was like a musical opera called Candide, and we were like the chorus. So they would have like these professionals perform, and then we were like the backup or whatever, like teen chorus that they didn't have to pay.
Yeah. The interns.
The interns, and it was really, really lovely experience. And I remember it ended with some song that's like, "And make your garden grow," like, you know, it's like rousing. Just like,
Oh, really?
that was one of my favorites. I was Chino in West Side Story, and it was an abridged version, 30-minute version of West Side
Wow.
Story. So that was kind of interesting. Once on This Island, which is now getting Tonys, or what was last year, I played the God of Water, Agwe.
Nice.
Okay. Pisces.
Yeah, water signs in the house.
Yes.
We're all water signs
Yeah.
here
Really?
on camera. Yeah, double scorp in the
See?
house.
Got a
Double score.
Pisces rising.
Oh my God.
Talked about the transition between your solo project and like your background.
What do you mean, like how I started then and
Yeah.
how I got to this?
Yeah.
You know, so
it's hard to.
no. So I was, I was really into it. Actually, the first time I came to LA, I was 17, and now I'm. But I was.
We'll bleep it.
I was.
Yeah, we'll bleep it for you.
Yeah, and so there was like this Grammy Jazz Choir thing. So you send in a tape, and I was like, and they were like, all right, you're in. And it was crazy. They flew us out to LA, and we got to perform before the Grammys and after the Grammys, and all during the week, like with like these legendary jazz musicians and shit like that. And that, that'll do it to you. That'll give you the bug. You're like, ooh,
Yeah.
somebody like validation. Like, okay, cool. Like maybe I could do it. I was very bad in that choir, and the director told me often because it was like really complicated vocal jazz, and it's never been my thing. I'm not great at it. And he was just like, he was wrong. I guess we'll just work with what we have. Like he would say shit like that to me, like in front of everyone. I was like,
How
I remember I cried
encouraging.
on the bus, like on the bus from like one of the gigs. I was just like, I cry a lot. But yeah, so I did that, and then I ended up going to jazz school. Great call on my part. So I got
All on the wallet part.
Yeah, exactly. It's going great. But I got a degree in vocal jazz, which is essential. So I'm getting the vaccine first. Because I was in this band, and it was going well. It was in Minneapolis. We were like, all the local papers were like, this band's cool. We were hot. But I was like, these people aren't as committed to music as I am. they're not as determined as I am. Like,
Yeah.
like,
That really is how it is, though.
Yeah.
Sometimes, like, people, they don't show up when they're supposed to. You know, assembling a band can be the hardest thing, and
Yeah.
sometimes they don't want to do it, so.
Yeah, and they were like having children and stuff, and I was like, I
Yeah.
gotta go.
You out here doing musicals,
Yeah.
and you're ready to, like, be a
Yeah.
star. Yeah.
I was like, I have to leave. So I left and came here, and I guess that's, just been doing it here.
Nice. Were the
Very
bands
cool.
that you were in, like, were they a similar style in music to what you're doing now?
The bands I was in were all like soul music.
Oh, cool.
Which is like, that was, because I'm coming from gospel.
Mm.
That was like really easy for me, like very, it almost kind of sometimes feels like my heart's not in it, but it like, because it's just like too automatic sometimes it feels. Does that make sense? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess that doesn't make sense, and I'm kind of working it out right here, but it's just like, like a lot of the songs are just like generic, like broad songs about whatever, but they're not about my life.
Yeah.
It's because I felt like I had to be like, this is a party. That's what I meant. I got there eventually. This is a party. We all having a good time. And so the songs weren't very personal or whatnot.
Yeah.
But as far as performing it, it was like second nature kind of thing.
That would be a good segue for me to ask my question. You're a versatile performer and singer. I've heard you do like Marvin Gaye-esque ballads, Shaft and Beck kind of inspired pieces all over the place. What's your creative process for songwriting?
Wow. So right now, it's been like during COVID, it's gotten way different, obviously, I guess. But I never used to like produce anything at all. I was just like, I'll just show up and what I do when someone else is making the thing is I'll be like, what just happened to me? Like yesterday. Like what's on my mind, like some, but it has to be like almost like an event.
Yeah.
And as soon as I get that, it starts to kind of fill in. And I'll hear the beat and I'll just start going, Baba, you got me.
Yeah.
Like what feels right, and then something comes to you and like that's hooky, blah blah, and then I'm like, yesterday the bus ran over my foot, just like, and then it's like you sort of put it together that way. But producing things, I've been doing this like series where I'm singing like 90s covers of like 90s black theme, like sitcom covers, theme songs, and trying to teach myself how to produce that way. And that's been really, I've always resisted it because I was like, too hard.
Yeah, definitely.
I was like the learning curve. You see producers and you're like, this seems like a lot. Seems like you put years into this. And I
Yeah.
already put my years into singing, so I'm not going to do both of them. But this has been lovely because now I've been building things from scratch and just like, I have some jazz piano skill. So
Yeah.
I'll just sit there and I'll be like, cute.
It's kind of nice to have that personal freedom in your own space to
Yeah.
just come up with whatever you want,
Yeah.
as opposed to having to wait for a producer to
Right.
bring you something like that you jive with, that you vibe with really
Yeah.
well. So that's cool. Congrats on
Thank you.
on learning.
It's been super nice, and I hate that I'm now mad that I ever limited myself or whatever.
Right.
But I put this acapella up yesterday of the song "Can You Stand the Rain" by New Edition, and my friend was like, "We should do something like that. We should do a session and do that." And in my mind, I was like, I probably couldn't do this in front of another person, like work out an acapella. I'd be too like.
I saw it
Yeah.
though, and it was amazing.
Thank you.
It was incredible. I was not expecting that to come out.
Sick. Hell yeah. I had a whole second part to that, and I was like, not good enough. I just chopped it. I'm like, all right, forget it.
Yeah. Well, I think like for artists, like sometimes like switching up the medium or the method of what your art making is like very refreshing, like it can be, it just adds to, like how you said that you wish you wouldn't have limited yourself so much.
Yeah.
Like it's so true. Like it helps you just expand as an artist in, so many ways.
Yeah.
And then you also have been making like really amazing videos, so it's kind of like a whole thing, like the,
Yeah.
the music and the performance and the videos.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it comes full circle, right? The musicals came first with the choir, and then now you're putting all that together in all the mediums available to you now in today's age, and that's really incredible.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been really nice, honestly. Like, I mean, there's emotionally during all this stuff. Right now I'm feeling hot, and I'm sure tomorrow I'll be.
Yeah.
But honestly, the creativity part has been really nice, and I've been like teaching myself After Effects and like getting better at editing and shit like that. And it's like I just put these obstacles in my way. Like I'll have the little radio show, but like, well, I'm gonna make all the artwork for it, because then I'll force myself to learn Photoshop. If I have to make the artwork, I have to do it. So you just put little things in my way, and it's like it's been super freaking dope, and the videos have been fun, and like I don't know, I'm like setting the camera on trash cans and like other people's cars sometimes.
Yeah.
It's like,
Actually, I would love to ask about one of your videos, if you don't mind.
Yeah,
So, recently you had one that went semi-viral. It was earlier this year in
Yeah.
January, and it followed right after the Capitol Hill insurrection. You used the Kendrick Lamar song "All Right,"
yeah.
and I just, well, can we show? I mean, you probably know this one. I watched it a million times, and I'm sure everyone else did too.
Love that.
But like, what I want to ask is like, did you have this planned like right after the insurrection happened? It seems like this epitomized that entire week, by the way. Like everyone was feeling that
Yeah.
way. So like, tell us about what you were feeling, what came about you when you made
Yeah.
that.
This particular one, like the other one's like whatever. Like I kind of plan them or whatever. I'll have the idea days before. This one I literally was like sitting in my room and I was like, wait, it just like came to me. And it's like
amazing.
it was so easy to shoot, because a lot of times I have like different setups or whatever. This is
Yeah.
just like I just walked around my apartment, one shot here, another shot here, another shot here. And I want to do the split screen because with like two of me in the frame, because I've been doing that a lot.
Yeah.
And so that one, like, it was nice because like people liked it, and it was like it's just a simple idea and it like worked, you know.
Yeah, it
Because sometimes I
has-
spend like I'm spending the whole night on shit sometimes.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
that took
no.
me like an hour, and I was like, oh, all right.
Totally. I just got a TikTok. I spent like 2 hours trying to do Bus It, that
Right.
trend.
Yes.
What's
yeah.
that?
It's a
Can you do it
trend.
right now?
I'll do it.
I mean, I'd have to take all my makeup off,
Yeah.
then put on pajamas, and then
Exactly.
do it again. But then put all my makeup on
Back
and
on.
dress up really nice, and then do like twerking on. No, thank
Yeah,
you.
it's a lot.
But yeah, no, I love that you were able to respond so quickly to such a large, such a crazy event.
Yeah, that was really something. I don't know. It's like, yeah, especially stuff like that. Especially if you're kind of in this zone where you're already like, just kind of like I'm making stuff. Then stuff happens. You kind of feel like you're already kind of ready,
Yeah.
because you're
Yeah.
already probably like it's already something running in the background, like,
Yeah.
what's the next thing, whatever. So something happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of your videos that you've made have been political and like, but they're also very funny. So would you say that like you're using humor as a way to like, I guess, transcend, I guess, the chaos or like how horrific some of it
Yeah.
is, you know? Like, because it is kind of nice to have something that is like, just making fun of how ridiculous our country can be sometimes, you know, but while still being educational.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, my question is like, is that helping you transcend the chaotic world that we're living in?
Yeah, honestly, like I'm making stuff because I like attention, but also I'm making
Yeah. Validation.
Same.
We were just talking about that.
But I'm also doing it because like therapeutic. Because it's therapy for me. Like I guess there's a lot that goes into this, but before the pandemic, I was like out all the time. I would be at shows 5 nights a week, but I'm just always like out, and that was the way I got my validation or got like felt community. You know what I'm saying? And so I've been trying to figure out ways of processing that aren't just like, let me drink a bunch of wine. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, let me not do that. Exactly, yeah. Working on my sobriety and fitness and whatnot. So I'm trying to do that, and so I'm like, I'm just working with my therapist, and he was like, well, if making stuff makes you feel, like calms down the voice, whatever, the bad voice, then just do that. And so
Right.
now it's immediate, like, it's just like I feel something, and I'm like, I have to do something now, kind of thing. And so it is therapeutic in that way, and it's yeah, I guess I'm laughing because that classic thing, or else I'd cry.
Yeah. Your comedy is like a cushion for reality.
Yeah.
And it's helping you deal with everything.
Exactly.
I like that. I think everyone can definitely resonate.
Yeah.
It's always interesting when like you get curated into a show that you're very like different than a lot of the artists? Like, has that happened to you a lot?
Yes. Okay. So in Minneapolis, so my band was a soul band, cool, blah, blah. We get booked to play some show, and it was like a pay-to-play thing, something like that. Terrible place called the 400 Bar. And we show up, because I guess I just didn't do any research or whatever, and it's like metal.
Oh, really?
Metal. And like the crowd is looking like, maybe I shouldn't be here. Like,
A little scary.
I fear for my safety,
Yeah.
my life. But we didn't even end up playing. Once again, I don't know why you're booked. We got there, and they were like, the bartender's like, where are your pre-sales? This is a legendary story amongst whatever, but anyway, it's not even that great. Now I built it up. He goes, where are your pre-sales? And we're like, I don't know, we get in some like screaming match about these pre-sale tickets.
Oh my God.
And then I just go like, I'll just buy the tickets. Fuck it. Just like, here's the
Wow.
money that you would have
Yeah.
made from these pre-sales.
Wow.
Whatever.
So ridiculous.
And he's freaking out, and then the bar manager comes over and says, I'm sorry about my guy or whatever, and comps us all drinks. Do you guys want to play or not? We don't play or whatever. But that was the weirdest fucking
Yeah,
show I've
that
ever
is.
been booked on. I was like, why would you add me to this?
Yeah.
And why did I not see the bill and go, who are these?
Yeah, totally.
It was terrifying. I was scared to be in there.
Yeah, I think there's something that happens when you're first starting out too, where like you're just wanting to get yourself out there, so
Exactly.
you take everything,
Yep.
and like, God, like hindsight is really 20/20 with all those.
Gotta
fucking-
learn how to say no sometimes.
Yeah, we've all played so many shows, you know?
Yeah, I know. Like,
Yeah.
holy shit.
know what I'm saying?
That's why I have to ask, because I just know that I'm sure there's so many that we can't even remember. And that's another thing too, just for any young artists watching this. If you have to sell tickets to perform, that is a scam. That is called a scam.
It's a red
And
flag.
yeah, don't ever play anything where you have to sell tickets to fucking like,
Period.
that's some bullshit.
do it.
Yeah, that's fucked up. Yeah,
So fucked.
I've played shows that are just very like if it's like all straight rappers. I've played an After Hours. I played this show 3 times. Every time I play it, everyone looks at me super just stone faced. Couldn't be enjoying it less. Just like they just do not give a fuck about what I'm doing. And I'm like, the first time I was like, am I okay? Did I suck? The next 2 times I was like, got it.
I think that's the vibe of like after party though. Like everyone's just kind of there. It's like 2 a.m. or
Yeah,
3 a.m.
exactly.
No one's really like listening
Paying
to each
attention,
other, paying
yeah.
attention. Probably all coked out.
Everyone's on
like,
cocaine. Exactly. But he paid me like $200 or something. I was like, sure.
Yeah.
The answer's
Oh
yes.
Totally.
yeah. Oh yeah.
I will be there.
Yeah, it's always funny when like you play a show and like no one's really paying attention and you're just like, what the fuck is this?
One time I played a comedy show, and they were like, musical guest Tolliver. And that was the end of the show. I shit you not. Everyone left. There was no
Yeah.
one in the room.
Yeah.
Not
I've been
one person. Everyone walked
Even
outside.
the sound guy.
Everyone walked outside.
Yeah, even the bar owner, they like close it.
Everyone walked outside and like smoked cigarettes or
Oh my
whatever,
God.
and no one was in the room, and I was singing.
That's
And I was
so
like,
annoying.
all right.
I mean, hey, that's like a really dope practice though.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
You just
I was-
gotta
Yeah.
you have to like spin it in your mind and make it work,
Yeah.
right? I've definitely played shows like that where it's
Yeah.
just like no one's there except for the sound guy, and I guess it's just you and me, bro. Just you and me.
Yeah, you're just like, fuck it. Yeah, it's so like weird that it becomes fun.
Yeah.
Like, all right. It's better than 3 people. 3 people is like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd rather
No
have
people?
no than, yeah, exactly.
I would just be like, you guys can go. Like, you don't have to stay. Just,
Yeah,
just go.
yeah,
Let's go. Just save yourself.
absolutely. Just like, just no. It's fine.
So, what about like, can you recall one of your like best live show experiences?
Yeah. Don't know. This was like last year? No, it couldn't have been last year. So late 2019, maybe.
Yeah.
I played the Telegram for Kate Tempest. Do you know her? She's
Oh,
like
cool.
British.
No, I don't know who that
British
is.
poet, rapper.
Cool.
Really cool stuff. Really like, I don't know. It's poetry. Tons of people there, which is really exciting. And I don't know. It was like a set where like I had a new person playing with me. Like there was just some improvisational elements, which was a big risk considering that there were like it was like the biggest show I'd played, really.
Wow.
But it came off very jazzy and like, just like a lot of space, you know? And that felt really, really nice. And I kind of like shocked myself. And I was wearing this, like, is that mesh? No, it was like a bodysuit thing, but it was like, there's like holes in it, you know, like fishnetty.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like mesh, yeah.
And I just felt really sexy. So.
Aw, that's good.
like,
You're feeling yourself.
Jazz.
But at least you got to end that year with like a great
Yeah.
show, and up until the pandemic, you know, just kind of end it on a good note.
Yeah, no, that was a really tight night. And she was great too. And it was like, you know, she's queer, and so it was just like a very cool crowd. It was like, you know,
That's cool. Who else played that night?
it was just me and her.
Oh, cool.
'Cause
That's
they didn't
awesome.
need me. So like, I was just there for spice or whatever, because she had like sold it out or whatever.
That's
But
amazing.
I was playing a lot, you know, just because
Right.
I guess it's like the videos for me where like I need to be doing something,
Right.
going, and so I've played a lot of them. Honestly, most shows have been good, you know, like fine to great.
Yeah.
There's just some where
totally.
you're like, that one. Oof.
I mean, it's like you just learn from experience. So, you know, like the first couple years, you just kind of can sense even from like a DM if it's going to be
Yeah.
one of those shows or not. So
Absolutely.
I'm sure your powers of discernment are much stronger than when you first, you know.
Have you ever played a show? You agreed to a show, and then they send you the flyer, and you're like, oh. No.
Yes. Yeah. And you're like, fuck. Like,
Oh,
why did
no.
I agree? Yeah. Totally. And I don't know about you, but like I get booked for a lot of stuff that's kind of like gay centric. And
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, do you know like what my work like is? Like what
Right.
it sounds like? Like, are you sure you want to book me for this? So
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
just booking
Anyway.
you based off your persona rather than the art itself. And
Yeah.
that, yeah, I would agree that's not how you should be doing it.
Yeah.
speaking of like different artists and stuff, you started doing a radio show on KQBH. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
Totally. No, so I'll just start with the radio show. But that's Thursdays at 4 p.m. I have a little show called Space is the Place. It's Afrofuturist music, and it's cool because it's like I like Sun Ra. I love Pharoah Sanders and Phil Coran. Like there's a lot of artists that I really love in that genre. But I ended up kind of like it just ends up being like weird black music generally. It's like it's not so it'll be like Afrobeat. It'll be just like African music that my friend who's an enthusiast sends me, and I'll just play that or whatever, and like really cool progressive R&B stuff. So that's a lovely time, and that's honestly probably of the things I do weekly. That's my favorite thing. Like every week, I'm like skipping, like, to
Yeah,
get
that's
to go
cool.
there.
That's a weekly. So do you go to a studio to?
Yep.
Oh, cool.
At the Boyle Heights Arts Conservatory.
That's
So I was
sick.
gonna. That's okay. So that's the cool thing is that blah blah. I started volunteering for them, so that became like a mentor there. And it's all these like 20-year-old freaking kids, and they're so cool, and they all want to become. I don't know what they want. I don't even know if they want to be journalists, but they're all like learning media, and they're all like their goal is to like shake up the media landscape, right? Because they're like it's so white and blah, like and old and whatnot, and they're just like doing so much dope shit, and they're all like cool producers, and like have like cool video content and shit that they do, and it's like that during quarantine has been my favorite thing. They're called Por Vida Media Collective,
That's
Very
sick.
cool.
and they just like rock my world. And I feel like so. This sounds like a pageant speech, so I'm feeling weird, but it's just like I just feel so lucky to be there with them. You know what I'm saying? Because like during COVID started really rough for me mentally, as it did for many of us. And then I started working with them like 4 or 5 months in, and it honestly like turned it around. It was like, oh, because that gave me like kind of a purpose, kind of.
Something to look forward to, and
Yeah.
putting
Yeah.
a spotlight on the community while also listening to good music.
Yeah, and they were like optimistic. They weren't like, I mean, I'm sure they are in their private lives maybe, but they were like, hey, there's a protest tomorrow. We're gonna go to this protest. We're gonna do this. Hey, we got this, and they're just like pumped
Yeah.
about the future. And I was like, I'm pumped too. It's just like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
shit.
That is something that's very admirable about our younger generation, or people who are in their 20s right now.
Yeah.
I have a roommate who's I think about 20,
Yeah.
and was always going to protests, and just really hyped up about it, about causes. And I
Yeah.
keep hearing about these causes from him instead of me, finding it online,
Yeah.
through my own research. And I was just like, I wish I had time and like the energy for this. I feel so behind. So I think
The
I think
youth.
I think
The
it's
youth.
great that our youth is just so for it right now and progressing things.
Yeah, it's motivational. So I don't know. Shout out
Yeah.
to that.
Well, I have to say, like, as much as like Trump fucking sucked, that like people are more engaged in politics now than
Yeah.
ever, I think. And so in a way, it's one of those things where the universe kind of like has to have us experience an extreme of one side so that we can
Right.
activate ourselves as a community and like,
Yeah.
It's
Absolutely.
like all of this stuff that happened last year would, like how bad everything was in Trump's like corner, like it kind of activated
Yeah.
our side.
It's
Anyway.
like equal and opposite reaction kind of thing.
Yeah,
It's like,
absolutely.
Yeah. Well, I think we have talked about some of your biggest artistic inspirations. I heard like jazz and soul, but are there any like specific artists that stand out to you that were really inspirational to you growing up?
yeah, tons of them. I think like I was really into like neo soul and shit like that.
Nice.
That shit sounds like grandpa music to me now, but I
You
did
mean
love it.
Neo, the artist.
Well, I actually hate Neo, the artist.
Well, I don't know. Oh, neo soul, like
The
new.
Oh
genre.
yeah. It's like
Yeah.
No, it's okay.
I'm a dumbass.
No, it's okay. No. But that's weird because like there's like no artists there's like a lot of music I don't like, but I hate Neo and it's irrational. I
You don't like his fedora?
Yeah, there's just something about him that's just
I
so
li-
off-putting to me. It bugs the shit.
I'm shocked by that.
His music and that snare sound he uses. That's like that whatever the sound. I'm like,
Yeah, it is grating.
Yeah,
it's
it's
grating.
so
for me.
lot.
I can't
It's
handle
and
it.
now every song is just kind of like perfectly placed. I'm like, stop, make it wrong.
I'd say like middle-aged women of America have a thing for guys with like really like voices like that because there's
Yeah.
also Maroon 5
Yes,
Yeah.
and stuff
exactly.
like that, So.
I just heard a Jason Derulo and Adam
Mark.
Levine song, and I wanted
Oh
to-
yeah. Did you like him in Cats?
I wanted to leave. Actually, I thought Jason Derulo was there were 2 to 3 people who were like okay compared to everyone else, and I thought he was in that group. I was like, okay, I didn't.
I didn't watch it. The movie.
I saw it New Year's Day, 2020.
Ooh.
That's right.
Stars out of 10.
So it starts at a 10.
Yeah. What's your rating?
It was rotten, and it wasn't
Yes.
fun rotten. And I thought I was
Damn
gonna
it.
laugh and laugh and laugh, but I did kind of laugh.
So it's not like so bad it's good. It's just bad.
Yeah. It was
That's
just
the
like bad
worst.
choices over and over and over again, and like not even like campy enough.
Just
So-
sorry.
No, so I
Just the trailer was.
I thought that was
horrific.
horrifight.
No, it was
I
like-
literally had
and,
nightmares.
and when they do the thing where they show all the different celebrities, and you're like, like every person, you're like.
yeah, completely my reaction too. I just wasn't for it.
It was very, 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 very bad. And Cats the musical is not a good musical.
No, yeah, I don't even like.
So
Cats. Yeah.
what are we doing here? And it was it's like the biggest musical of all time. I'm like, what is happening?
Reboots seem to be such a big thing right now,
Yeah.
especially in American cinema. I just feel like we all need to stop and start creating new
Yeah,
things.
absolutely.
Exactly.
New musicals.
Can we, please? Can we do like a Queerspace musical?
Could you do a musical for us?
Mabel.
All right, we gotta write
Um,
that one down.
That's the first lyric.
Yeah.
Inspirations.
Your
Oh, yeah, I
muses.
asked you a
Tell us
question.
about your muses.
So it'd be like, I feel so lame saying this now, but Music Soul Child was an artist I really, really loved. He's like such a dweeb, and I'm like, I feel so lame. But that was like my music. I was like so in love with him. I loved Stevie Wonder. Freaking gospel music was like my first thing. So like, I don't know. There's this artist, I forget, I don't know what they go by now, but back then they went by Tone. Just saying.
That's cool. Do you like jazz
Like
too?
Tone. That's a complicated question because I do have a degree in jazz, but I don't
Well,
know that I love jazz music.
Yeah.
I do. There's a lot of it that I listen to that I really enjoy, but like, I think I just don't like bop. You know what I'm saying? Like that particular genre of jazz. I've heard a lot of jazz that I really love, Like there's this guy who did like a lot of Eastern European stuff, like Slavic kind of stuff.
That's cool. Yeah.
And I was like, this is sick. But when it's like,
Like Charlie Bird.
yeah,
and
yeah.
all
I was
those.
like, I can tell that this is brilliant. I don't want to listen to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about art. I mean, I went to art school and I hate art.
Yeah.
Then there goes my financial. Don't make the same financial mistakes we made, people.
Yeah, don't get a degree in vocal jazz.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go on the record.
Yeah. Don't go to college unless you're like gonna be a lawyer for real.
Yeah, that's what it's for.
I feel like that's the trend though. People go to college, they get a degree and like hate it afterwards. I just feel
No.
like, yeah, it's a hoax.
And then you come out of it and you're like, however much debt you have, and you're more of a failure than when you fucking went in. You know?
Bleak.
Absolutely. Like,
Bleak.
this calling me, sending me letters.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's. Well, actually,
Leave me alone.
ever since the pandemic started, I haven't had any of that. So I think that they're like not even caring about that
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah. Okay. I guess you're right. I still get IRS letters, and I'm like,
Oh, really?
Jazz.
So we have a quick answer segment. We do this with every interviewee, basically. It's pretty personalized for our guests, but for you, we would like to pay an homage to your Choose Your Fighter video that you put out recently. And so we put together
Oh,
some
wow.
fun
This
Choose
is
Your
amazing.
Fighter scenarios. We have some visual aids, so we're going to get those up really quick.
Love
But
it.
yeah, basically, you're going to choose your own fighter based off of these
Okay.
selections.
I'm so ready for this. Wow, this
All
makes
right.
me so happy.
So this is for, our video game nerds out there.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Okay, so I know Ryu. Who's the guy on the right?
Liu Kang. Liu Kang
Oh,
from
yeah,
Mortal
Liu Kang.
Kombat.
Okay, Liu Kang. Definitely.
All right,
Yeah?
Liu Kane it is.
Yeah, absolutely Liu Kang. I just remember feeling like he was really cool.
George,
All right,
George Bush, the
yeah.
painter, or Bill Clinton, the saxophonist?
I would choose the painting. I really would, because it doesn't look half bad. The painting, not the painter.
Yes.
But I'm gonna go with saxophone because my mom loves that. She freaking loved when he played the sax.
I didn't
I
even
love
know
that.
that was a thing.
Yeah.
That Bill Clinton
does.
plays.
He did it on Arsenio Hall. I think.
Yeah, that's
Oh
where
my
that picture is
God.
from. I had so much
Jesus,
fun
look at
cropping
him.
him out.
Look at that.
Look at him go. He
All
played the
right.
sax and we were like, "That's my president."
He's got my vote.
We're all doing well.
All right.
All right.
Okay. Wow.
Beck and Shaft.
Self-explanatory.
Beck and Shaft versus the Village People.
Wow. Because I would choose all of these people.
I know, we had to make him hard for you.
Well, it's got to be like a tag team effort, so I feel like Beck and Shaft would be a pretty good
Yeah.
matchup.
But there's more village people,
Yeah.
and I'm attracted to the village people. So I'm gonna go with them.
Yeah.
Be in my village.
We want them to tag team us. Village people.
I mean, I wouldn't mind. I'd
Yeah.
love
Yeah.
to watch.
I've never been attracted to them until looking at this picture.
Oh,
looking at this,
really?
I'm like,
That's a fire
looking at
picture.
this, I'm like,
They all look so great, especially the one with the mustache.
yeah. I'm like,
They all have mustaches.
I mean,
the big one. Yeah.
Okay, next we have this node. Okay, you want
all
to explain
right.
this?
So Laura Bush's cowboy cookies, which is on
The right.
Okay.
and then Hillary Clinton's chocolate chip cookies on the left.
I'll be honest. I might go with Laura Bush.
Yeah.
Those look
Hillary
some-
Clinton's might have hot sauce in that.
Oh, I love that fact about her.
Hot
I
sauce
actually
in my
carry
bag.
around Tapatio in my bag too. I have one bottle
Yeah.
in my car and in my purse.
Yeah.
I only like one hot sauce, and that's Crystal. The
that
Louisiana
is
hot
yeah,
sauce.
Yeah,
that
that's a
is
good one.
great.
That's
Definitely.
my baby.
Marie Sharp's
Nice.
is my favorite, but Crystal, yes.
We should make our own.
So Laura Bush's cowboy cookies.
Laura Bush. I don't even know what's in them. Laura Bush.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's like oatmeal, almond. I don't know.
Okay.
All right. Crunchwrap Supreme by Taco Bell
Uh-huh.
or Del Taco's queso loaded nachos.
Um,
This one's hard.
that is a really tough
I
one.
don't even know what to pick.
I haven't had either.
I have had several Crunchwrap Supremes in my day. Never had the other one, but I do have an inherent trust of Del Taco that is not earned because it is kind of nasty. But there's a Del Taco ride by Akbar. This is tough for me And I go to Akbar all the time, and I would just go to Del Taco because I was like, I can't drink on an empty stomach. This is This is tough for me.
I think we know the answer, though.
No, there's other dimensions to this. I know this is quick because the battery's dying. I got a Taco Bell sponsorship. I'm a Feed the Beast artist.
Are you fucking
They gave me
serious?
$500 in Taco Bell gift cards, and I've been giving them away, but I still have like 150 or so
Where
left.
is your loyalty?
So I have to say Taco
Where
Bell.
is the sponsorship that we could have had for this episode? Like, I want a Baja Blast
You
on
can
my
get one.
table.
I have so many gift cards. I have my gift cards
Next
are literally
time.
next to my like lube and stuff in my closet.
That's
like my
hot.
sex area,
Yeah.
the booty exciter, my lube, and Taco Bell gift
Yeah,
cards,
so
which
if-
kind of go hand in hand if you think about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, so if they like if they're not sure if they like want to go all the way yet, they see that and they're like, oh fuck
fuck
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, we are this guy. That's
That's when the
hot.
battery dies.
That's like that's like guaranteed post-coital Taco Bell.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, last
They
one.
have to drive though.
Oh wait, there's two more actually.
Okay.
Is this Dolly Parton's acrylic nails or your cat?
And now we didn't have a picture of your cat,
It's
so
pretty close though. Oh. I gotta choose my cat, even though my heart wanted. Before I knew who the cat was supposed to represent, I was gonna say Dolly. I was like Dolly. As soon as I saw the picture, I had to choose my cat. Even though there's two of them, and one of them is like, cats are jerks.
I think in an actual fight, though, Dolly Parton's nails might do some damage.
Yeah, I have to say.
Yeah.
Dolly cured COVID. Remember? I'm here for
Really?
That. Well, she donated
When?
like $1 million to COVID to
Oh,
vaccine.
nice.
Oh.
Oh, that's so cool.
She is an
Shout out Dolly
angel.
Parton.
Right.
You know who's also cool? Pamela Anderson. Like,
Is she?
she's actually really cool.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
She's super into like, freeing Julian Assange.
Oh,
and
wow.
like, she is just a really cool activist. She did like this interview on The View where, of course, they're all like, how they are on The View. And like,
Yeah.
she just did a really good job of articulating like the importance of whistleblowers and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Anyway.
Do you know they're making a movie of them, a biopic?
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
amazing.
Pamela Anderson, Tommy Lee.
Last
All right,
one.
One left. Oh, let's see.
Do you want to intro this one?
Yeah, sure. This is Don
Oh,
Tolliver
no.
versus someone. I don't know if you know who this
Never heard
artist
of her.
is, but which one?
Don Tolliver.
Why? You can choose yourself.
No. Okay, so when Don Tolliver came, started popping off, I was like, who the fuck is this? And I listened to his music, I was like, this rocks. Damn it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's good. And he sounds great. Wonderful.
You sound great.
I'm
So-
happy with my sound. I choose me. But he is pretty great. And that is upsetting.
I think that is a resounding Tolliver for all of us.
Yeah. Well, I think you are set to go for life with the fighters you've chosen,
Yeah.
and you can take those and use them as protection in this crazy world
It's so
we're living
crazy out here.
in.
Yeah. But I have my cat. So.
But yeah, like, thank you so much for doing this. Thank you for being an amazing artist in our scene.
Thank you.
And everyone follow Tolliver at Tolliver with a 3, not an E, and see amazing videos, music, political, comedic videos. Is there anything else you want to say?
I mean, let's give you the plug. What would you like to plug?
Yeah,
Do you have
exactly.
anything coming up?
Yeah, what did I just do? Well, I'm teaching a class with Project Q next month, so stay tuned for details on that. This is really cute. Project Q is like they house trans youth and do haircuts. That's like their main thing. And something. Other stuff. Check it out. I'm sure I'll put out a video in a couple days of something. Oh yeah, I have my next cover ready, and it's gonna be like a Mad Max version of one of the '90s theme songs.
Oh,
It's gonna be a
cool.
grime version, and then the video is gonna be a Mad Max.
Oh
That's
my
sick.
God, that's epic.
Like grime is in like British rap?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my
That
God.
is
Awesome.
epic.
Do a
Love-
grime version of this '90s theme.
Ugh,
dressed as
I
Mad
love
Max.
me some grime. Dizzy Rascal.
Yeah, like that
Dizzy
kind of
Rascal is one of my favorite
Yeah.
like rappers.
I know. I did.
All right, we're about with that, thank you so much, Tolliver, and thank you so much to everyone who's watching. And I'm Peter,
I'm Leilani.
and this is
Yeah,
Tolliver.
Tolliver. I thought we just said it. I was like.
All right, goodbye, everyone.
Bye,
Thank you
everyone.
so much for watching.